Two people who make you feel completely different things. One makes you comfortable the second you sit down. The other makes you sit up straighter without even knowing why, like you just got called on in class. You've been told those are the same skill. They're not. And confusing them is probably the reason one area of your life is going great and the other one is a ghost town. Let's define the split. Likability is I feel safe around you. Charisma is I feel more alive around you. One's a warm blanket, the other's a double espresso. You can have either without the other. And honestly, most people are out here trying to become a warmer blanket when what they actually need is more espresso. There's real research behind this, so I'm not just making this up between reps at the gym. Psychologists use something called the warmth and competence model to explain likability, how safe and how capable you seem. But charisma researchers, like Harvard's John Antonakis, found charisma runs on a totally different formula. Presence, plus a sense of power, plus warmth. Notice the extra ingredient, power. That's the piece pure likability is missing, which is exactly why your nicest friend has never once been described as intimidating. Here's where it gets fun. Being extremely agreeable, always nodding, always validating, never once disagreeing makes people like you. It also quietly makes you about as threatening as a golden retriever in a sweater. Meanwhile, charisma often needs a little tension, a pause before answering, saying less than expected, a dash of unpredictability, which can cost you a few likability points because unpredictable reads as slightly less safe to nap next to. Think about the class clown versus the quiet, intense guy everyone somehow orbits around without knowing why. The clown is liked by literally everyone and remembered by literally no one. Ask anyone from your old class to name the funny guy, and they'll go, oh, the guy who did the thing with I don't remember his name. The quiet one isn't universally loved. Some people find him unreadable, possibly a little unsettling. But when he walks in, people notice. That's not luck. That's a completely different mechanism, and it's the reason villains in movies are never the comic relief. This is also why the most liked person in your friend group rarely ends up running anything. And the most magnetic person you know probably has at least two people who inexplicably can't stand him. Likability is optimized to avoid friction. Charisma is optimized to be unforgettable. Nature really said, pick one starting stat, apparently. So here's how you actually build each, starting with likability. Since it's the easier install, think of it as the tutorial level. Step 1, mirror them. Body language, pace of speech, energy level. Your nervous system reads sync as safety, which is a fancy way of saying your brain is basically a dog and it wants to see its own tail wag reflected back. Step 2, ask one question, a little more personal than expected. What's something you're excited about right now? Beats 10 minutes of talking about the weather, like you're both auditioning for a farmer's almanac. Step 3, use their name once, early, naturally, not like you're a waiter trying to earn a bigger tip. Do those 3 things and congratulations. You are now, scientifically, slightly more likable than you were 4 sentences ago. Now, charisma, a completely different toolkit, less puppy, more guy who owns exactly one very good jacket. Step 1, controlled stillness, fidgeting, over-nodding, and filling every silence like it personally offended you, all read as low status. Stop doing that, and you instantly look like someone who has never once lost a game of chicken. Step 2, pause before you speak, even half a second, because it signals you're choosing your words instead of just yelling the first thought that walked through your brain. Step 3, say less, but mean it. I think this is wrong. Beats, I don't know, maybe. This could possibly be wrong. I'm not totally sure. No worries either way. That second one sounds like a hostage negotiation with yourself. Step 4, physically take up your space. Shoulders back, don't fold into the chair like you're trying to disappear into it. None of this requires being louder or funnier. It just requires you to stop apologizing with your body language for existing in the room. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. You don't have to permanently pick a team. The most magnetic people you know aren't choosing warmth or power, they're switching between them on purpose, like a light switch, except the light switch also somehow remembers your birthday. Warmth opens the door. Power is what makes people think about you after you've walked back out of it. And people mess this up in both directions. Go all in on charisma, the stillness, the pauses, the conviction, and you end up cold. The human equivalent of a nice car nobody wants to actually ride in. Go all in on likability, and you're beloved, endlessly agreeable, and completely invisible the moment you leave the room, like a Wi-Fi password nobody bothered to write down. Neither extreme is the goal. Knowing which one the moment needs, that's the actual skill. Quick gut check. A first date probably wants more warmth up front, unless your plan is to be mysterious. In which case, also, please text them back. A negotiation probably wants more presence up front. A job interview wants both. So next time you walk into a room, don't just ask, how do I get them to like me? Ask which one you actually need comfortable or unforgettable. Different questions, different answers. And now, annoyingly, you know both. Tell me in the comments which one's your default warmth or presence, because most people only ever train one without noticing. And if your honest answer is neither, respectfully, go back and rewatch the first 10 seconds. You've got homework.